Imagine buying your dream home in Tennessee, only later to discover you can't add a pool, can't add a guest house, can't add a bedroom, all because of what is underneath the ground. And I'm talking about your septic system. And if you're moving to Tennessee, you need to know what this is all about. Let's get into it. All right. So if you're moving to Tennessee, we have to talk about this, Tucker. This is a conversation that comes up because it's relevant on a lot of houses, right? So what is the main thing that people need to know about Tennessee and septic tanks?
Well, sure, Clay. Septic tanks are all over Middle Tennessee because we still have a lot of rural areas. And so when you get away from these urban areas or these city centers, you have a lot of topography. You have not as many homes per square mile. And what you do have is you do have septic systems where you've got a septic field and we need to know about them.
Well, that's exactly right. So there's so many areas where even some high-end neighborhoods, Tucker, don't have sewer running to them. The sewer utilities are just not everywhere that you think they would be. So for that reason, you end up with septic systems. And I think it's important for people to know, well, what even is a septic system? If I come from a city where we don't have septic, what even is that? And so I'm just going to go ahead and give you an idea of what that even means. So a conventional septic tank is like having your own private backyard filter, basically. Wastewater is going to leave the house and go into the tank, and then solids are going to settle on the bottom. Fats and oils are going to float to the top, and the liquid in the middle drains into a leach field out onto your property. And so the soil kind of acts as a final filter before water kind of returns to the ground. Now, one other system that we're going to talk about is going to be the step system. This is similar to septic, but it's not sewer. So a step system is going to be more like a neighborhood filter. Each home is going to have its own septic tank, but instead of draining to like your own personal drain field, the tank is going to have a pump that pushes liquid through small pipes to a shared neighborhood system. And then it's kind of like a neighborhood. We're all in the same group together, basically. That's a step system.
Well, and the benefit of that, what you're seeing with the builders, is they're able to get more houses in a condensed area. And that's why you're seeing that step system come into place. You definitely see that in Rutherford County.
You see it there. You see it in some parts of Williamson County for sure. You see it in neighborhoods where again, people don't think about this a lot of times ever. Even if you're looking at a house, you may not even realize what the sewer system is like. So, Tucker, why does this matter to anybody buying a house? That's what I think we got to answer. We got to look at, why is this important?
Sure. Well, this conversation comes up because the majority of the people that are moving here are usually coming from a very urban area that has always been on septic. And so this is a brand new category to discuss. But when you have a septic field and it might be on a side yard or in the front yard, you need to know you can't build on it. You can't put a pool on it. Can't put an above ground pool on it. And there's certain rules that you need to know if you do buy a home that does have this type of system.
Yeah, so it's not always obvious because it's underground and you don't see it. So we recently had a buyer buying a house in Rutherford County, and this house had a pool in the backyard. And what we found out in the process, we knew it was on septic, but in the process of inspecting that septic system, we discovered the pool was partially on top of the septic field lines. Buyer got very uncomfortable. That means the system may not be working properly. The thing is that when the pool builder didn't go and look at the septic records to figure out where the field lines are. So you have things like that can happen. And you go to a lot of houses and you wouldn't realize the yard needs to remain undisturbed because there's field lines that are, disposing of the waste from that house. So that's one thing, like you said, additions, pools, things you got to be aware if you're on septic or not, because that can matter. The second big category, I think, Tucker, that we have to talk about is like the bedroom count. Tell me a little bit about how that works.
When we do look at these homes that do have septic, one of the things we want to look at is what's the permitted for, and we'll have that in part of the disclosures. So if it's perked for 3 bedrooms and you've got a 4-bedroom, then you can't really sell the home as a 4-bedroom home because people are going to be looking at that. And you're also going to find out that not every one of these houses has a permit that lets you know how many bedrooms you can have.
Yeah, so it's a fascinating thing here in Tennessee. But like you said, to your first point, the system was designed for the amount of bedrooms that are written on the permit. And that may relate to the absorption rate of the soil. Could the soil handle only so many bedrooms? So if you have a large family and you need a 5-bedroom house, but the house is a 3-bedroom Perc system, That means that that system was designed to handle the waste from three bedrooms, not 5 bedrooms. You still may see a 5-bedroom house, and so it's kind of a thing of how overloaded on the system are you going to be. But from our standpoint, the main relevance is when you go to sell that house, you need to know that you can sell it as a 3-bedroom Perc system. You have to disclose that so it doesn't cause problems. Yes, people may use additional bedrooms in the house, but people need to know what the system was designed for. And what I found sometimes, Tucker, is that the soil is actually good for more bedrooms to be added. When they built the house, they may have not needed a 5-bedroom. They built a 3-bedroom because they had a small family or whatever it may have been, or neighborhood regulation limited it to a certain amount of bedrooms, something like that. So you just want to know what you're buying. That's the main thing. And if you're moving here from out of state and you want to build a house, this is probably the biggest point. Don't just assume you can do whatever you want on the land that you buy. If you're not on a sewer system, if you're on a septic, or if you're going to be on a septic system, don't just assume it's going to be okay. It may not be okay based on the quality of the soil and how much waste it can absorb. We've heard about this time and again. You want to get soil testing. You want to get a septic permit even done before you move forward fully. Otherwise, you're taking some extra risk.
And that's what you see when you look at land prices. People go, wow, I can buy all this land and it's not that much. Well, that's correct, because no one's done any soil testing for septic or anything like that. And another thing people really don't talk about is if it is perked for 4 bedrooms and you've got 2 teenagers who love to take long showers and you decide to get a hot tub, that septic system is not going to be able to handle all that's going on.
Man, that's exactly right. So what I've seen on some of the large tracts of land, especially Williamson County, Franklin, and beyond, College Grove, land can literally almost be next to worthless if there's no sewer lines running through there and if there's no good soil for septic sites. It becomes recreational land only for hunting, for hanging out, but the value is way different if it's not buildable with the septic system. So again, if you're looking at land here, the number one thing, if you want to build a house there, you almost have to look for places that have had septic work done. If we're listing properties, that are undeveloped, we encourage our sellers to go ahead and get preliminary septic soil testing done to figure out if a system would even work on this property or not. It affects the value greatly. So people just need to know it's a big deal in Tennessee, and it all depends on, is there sewer or septic, and then how likely is it that the septic system is going to actually work?
Sure. And so Clay, for the people that do come in, when we have buyers and we look at septic, walk them through our process of our due diligence before that we have during our contingency period.
Yeah, so it's a good point. If there's an existing house, an existing septic system, we tend to encourage our buyers, like, hey, it depends on if the seller has not had the system serviced or pumped in the last few years. If they haven't, and a lot of times sellers don't pump until there's a problem. I hear different opinions on how often you're supposed to pump your system. I think it kind of depends on use personally, but I'm not a septic expert. But if they haven't had it pumped or serviced in the last 3 to 5 years, then we're typically going to say, hey, as a buyer, you may want to have this system inspected. And you know what, Tucker, if you're going to inspect a system, what we find is that those companies want to go ahead and pump the system as well. So you're going to be paying to pump the seller's septic system and their waste out on your dime, but at least you get to inspect the system, figure out if it's working properly, get a professional with eyes on it to see if that system is going to have any surprises or not. Tucker, what kind of surprises come to mind that can come up during a septic inspection?
Sure. I mean, there's parts that can be bad that happen in there. And I'll also share, when you do an inspection, pick a county, the county has a list of certified people that they recommend. And those are the people that you need to have inspect. All the home inspections septic inspections that we've done have typically cost between $350 and $500. They provide a lot of information, and everybody that we've ever worked with has been fantastic. And so they've really been able to provide a lot of color around what's going on with the system.
Yeah, that's right. And I think a lot of the issues that can come up on a septic system, from my experience, is tree roots getting their way into the system and causing a clog. So they can clean that out, or a lot of times if there's trees planted, sometimes somebody will plant a tree and not realize it's right on top of a septic system or the field lines. They have a root killer that you can pour down into your toilets through your system, which will kill those tree roots. And they recommend doing that periodically if you have trees nearby, I think. So that's one of those common things that we see. I've also seen, Tucker, where they haven't cleaned it out in so long that they can't even find an access to it. So in some cases, they're installing a new access to get into the septic tank for the next owner to have it regularly serviced. So those are a couple things that we often see. But what else comes to mind, Tucker?
Sure. I think the other thing that you need to know is, let's say you find the home, it's perked for 3 bedrooms, and you're going to go, Tucker, in the coming years, we need to add bedrooms. We need to, grow this home to really fit our family's needs. You can go ahead and do soil tests to see how much you can extend the field to accommodate your needs, which is an option. And so when you talk about budget, you're going to be somewhere in that $5,000 to $15,000 range to extend any septic field. And just like you said, Williamson County, you have to have a secondary site for septic as well. That's the new standard that they're moving towards, and that's something that we want people to be aware of.
Yeah, you not only need one septic field as your primary, you need a backup. Williamson County is going to be one of the more stringent areas probably in the country for this kind of stuff. And for that reason, it's slowed the growth of development in Williamson County. Again, Williamson County is just south of Nashville. It's going to be Franklin and a few other cities. Very popular, very, very highly sought after area. And the truth is, septic causes a lot of challenges for people that want to build a house. You're not guaranteed. You got to get that testing done. And then Williamson County is going to make you have the primary and secondary. Another area, Tucker, that I see a lot of interesting activity with septic. There is like you said earlier, actually, there's a couple of, sometimes when we go to try to find records for septic, they don't actually exist. They may have been installed either off the record, or they may have lost the records from 30, 40 years ago. Technically, there's supposed to be a permit when they install these systems. That's not always the case. So sometimes you're just taking a guess as whether the system's working or not. Hopefully the seller will disclose if it's working properly. So sometimes there's a little bit of a mystery involved, Tucker, when we're looking at houses to buy, because the record keeping is just not as great as it could be, right?
Sure. And Clay, I've gone down for buyers, down to Williamson County, to the county seat to go talk about septic. People are fantastic. That's one thing I do appreciate about the county seat, is there's always people there that are there to help you. And we can find out what they have on file for that lot. That's one thing. And let me tell you some other parts of town that we're really discussing that this happens in. Fairview, Leapers Fork, College Grove. Of course, College Grove, you've got neighborhoods like Reed's Vale, which are gorgeous. You already have the sewer lines right there. But as soon as you go get a little bit more rural, that's where those conversations are going to take place.
Man, that's exactly right. There's also an area of Brentwood outside of the city limits that is one of my favorite areas, Tucker, back off Barry's Chapel, all that. Some of the prettiest topography and countryside, and you are extremely close to Brentwood and Cool Springs and Green Hills. And you know what, Tucker? There's not sewer back through a lot of those streets, and a lot of those systems don't have great soil. So what we found, and it's not every time, but there's just a lot of systems that were installed that don't have permits, that may or may not meet their requirements. But it's an amazing area with really nice homes on large tracts, but a little bit of like hey, you may or may not have a correct system back in a lot of those areas. So just something to be aware of.
Well, absolutely. And so this doesn't have to be a scary topic or a scary issue when we look at a home. All we're trying to do is arm you with the information of what we're about to walk into. And we have steps in place to make sure that what it's perked for is correct. We have people and experts to talk to. And it's always a good idea to make sure to get it inspected.
100% accurate. And the other thing, Tucker, one other area is around the lake. I see a lot of lake homes that may be perked for 2 bedrooms and maybe a 5-bedroom or 6-bedroom house where everybody brings a relative and they come sleep 22 people, and there's a 1 or a 2-bedroom perk system. It's very interesting. But yeah, like you said, you just have to know, like, hey, how common is this? What are the risk factors? What do the professionals say? It doesn't have to be a scary topic, but we always encourage people to do your diligence and try to understand what's going on, what you're getting, and then how it's going to affect resale potentially, because those are things that we want to advise people on and help give good advice towards. So anything else you want to add to this, Tucker?
No, you hit the hammer on the head with that last piece. It's all about the exit strategy. We want to make sure that we have all the permits in place and everything, so you have that before you close, because you're going to need them when it's time to sell.
Yeah, that's right. Again, my name is Clay, and Tucker and the team and I, we get contacted every single day from people just like you, and you about moving to Tennessee, and we love it. We're real estate agents, and so this is what we do every day. We get to talk about things like septic systems, and it's always an adventure out here in Tennessee. So if you're interested in moving to the area or around the area, we'd love to talk to you. We can help connect you with the right homes. And we want to help people make the right move. That's our goal. So if this kind of information is interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe and come follow along our channel as we discuss all about Tennessee, life in Tennessee, neighborhoods, the lifestyle, what it is like here. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Until next time, hope to show you around town.